So what we have is the 1025R tractor, the Quick Attach 120R loader, and the 60D Auto Connect deck, drive over Auto Connect deck. What we'd like to do is a pre-delivery walk around. This we would do with the customer, where we show them what everything is done on the tractor and how the implements come on and off. First thing we go over is we want to make sure we use ultra low sulfur diesel. It can be off-road, but it has to be ultra low sulfur. You can get that at any gas station. If you buy in bulk, just double check with your supplier to make sure it is ultra low sulfur. We have a low and high range. One thing Deere does that a lot of customer or vendors or competitors don't is they color code. Anything with orange relates to speed. So your orange handle on your low and high. You also have your throttle, which relates to speed, which is orange as well. Anything that deals with the PTO is yellow. So down here we have the Pto Selector. This doesn't turn your PTO on. It determines whether you run a brush hog or rototiller in the back, or if you're going to run your deck or snowblower or broom on the front. So what we would do is we would be selecting where the power is going to go to when we turn it on. So we have a mid PTO, we have a mid and rear, and we have the rear PTO. Mid and rear would only be used if you're going to use some type of leaf collection or grass collection system that runs off the rear PTO. Otherwise, you would either be mid or rear. We have adjusting headlights. You can turn these anywhere you would like to get the best visibility in the nighttime. Fuel gauge is located here on the left side. We have our height control indicator for the deck. This is where you set how high your grass is going to be cut. You use on this one the mechanical lever, which is your 3-point hitch, but this sets the height. So you would turn this to whatever height you would want. We also have the differential lock. This will lock in both rear wheels if you're spinning and in four-wheel drive. You press down on that with your left rear foot and it will lock your rear wheels in. We have our headlight switch, which first position is our flashers. Second position are your front headlights and flashers. Third position is your work lights and headlights. There is also a plug-in right here that if you would decide to get forward working lights or rear working lights, they would plug right into this adapter here and they would be on this position of the switch as well. We also, with the turn signal on, have turn signals. You have your left turn signal and you have right, and you just manually shut them off. We also have a tilt wheel. Makes it easy to get on and off if you're a bigger guy like myself. Your brake pedals here, when it's fully applied, you can lift up on the orange brake handle and it will lock your brake handle in, or parking brake in place. So the next thing I like to do is walk around and we will get access into the hood. Using your key on the newer models, there is a little medallion here with the tractor hood. You just push in and lift up. Some of the older models, there's a little latch right here that you just open. You have a pre-screen clean out so that if anything gets through your front screen, it will stop before it goes to radiator. Battery also located in the front. To get into the engine compartment, you would turn your yellow tab a quarter of a turn, and you can do this on both sides. Pull back and then lift out. That will take the panel off that will get you into the main engine compartment where your oil filter is at, where you would add oil at, also to your air cleaner. There is a solids collection on the bottom of the air cleaner that if you're brush hogging and you have seeds and stuff, you can squeeze it at the end of the day to get the solids out. Your automotive style fuses are on the back side as well. This is where you do any electrical fuse check if there's something not working. The nice thing with Deere is you do not have to get into the engine compartment to check your oil and fuel filter every day. You can do that outside. Everything is accessible without getting into the engine compartment. One of the things that some folks do that I like to point out is on the fuel filter over here on this left side, or right side, I'm sorry, there is a red disc sitting in the bottom of this fuel filter. If that is floating, that means you have water in your filter. In order to get that, or in your fuel, in order to get that out, you would shut it off, loosen that nut, throw the water out, but go get the red disc because it will come out, and a lot of people forget that. Put the red disc back in, put it on, turn your fuel on. If the disc isn't floating, you've gotten all the water out of the system. Doesn't happen often, but something to watch. We also have our forward and reverse pedals. Simply push on it. The harder you push, the faster you go. You do have a manual throttle here. There is also a yellow gear indicator at the 3200 RPM mark right here on your dash. That is where you want the white needle to be when you're running your deck. You want to turn the deck on at idle. But then once you have the deck on, then you would raise your throttle until you hit the 3,200 RPM in order to get the best cut with the deck. To get the deck turned on, here we have our yellow PTO switch. Earlier I had said you have a PTO indicator on the left. This is what actually turns it on. And it is a 3-stage button. You have off, all the way up turns the deck on, and it'll rock back to an on position. What happens at that point is if you want to mow in reverse, you have to push that pedal down, or button down, then push on your pedal to go backwards. Otherwise the deck will shut off. So that you want to make sure you keep in mind. Also have a cruise handle right here. Once you find a speed you like when you're mowing, simply lift up. It will lock your forward pedal in position. It is this one right here. This is your 4-wheel drive selector. Up is out, down is in. That will lock it into 4-wheel drive. You will want to make sure that you're in 4-wheel drive to take the deck off and to put the deck on. Otherwise, you're just going to drag it right across the concrete or whatever you're on. This is your front loader control. It is a standard up, lifts the boom up, forward pushes the boom down, left rolls the bucket back, right rolls the bucket down. There is also a lock for the loader right here. So if you would choose not to take your loader off while you're mowing, you can lock that, and it keeps you from having to worry about bumping your loader and dropping it down. Again, another adjustable light. This is your 3-point hitch lever and your deck lift. Earlier I had said there is a deck height control knob on the left. That is what sets your height. So when you're mowing, this is going to be all the way up or all the way down. You do not use this to set your deck height. You will not get a good cut. It will not cut evenly. So you want to make sure this is all the way up or down. There is, however, a 3-point hitch locking pin. This would be if you have a brush hog on the back, a rototiller, a box blade, anything that you only want to get down so far, you would then use this for your 3-point hitch, not for the deck. The last things we have are right here in the back. To check your hydraulic oil, there is a little gold gooseneck checkpoint right here that you would pull out. That is the dipstick right there that you would use to check your hydraulic oil, and that is for the entire system. The tractor, any exterior hydraulics, your transmission, everything is checked at this sump. And right here on the top is where you would also fill if you need hydraulic fluid. You always want to make sure you use John Deere High Guard, and on this case with these little tractors, low viscosity High Guard hydraulic oil in order to make sure you get the best operation out of the tractor. 3-point hitch is also adjustable. You can adjust your left arm up or down if you're trying to get an angle or if you need to level something out. And they also have sway bars on them. These adjust in and out so that you can hook implements up and keep them stationary in the back. Last thing we have is your rollover protection. Again, this does you no good if it's not up and the seatbelt's not on, but we do know there's times where you're trying to get into a building underneath trees. You pull these 2 pins, and this will come all the way back or lean against the tractor, whatever's necessary. But for safety's sake, it should be up when the tractor's in normal operation.